All right, y'all, let's get right back to it. JiDion's testimony. The day I gave my life to Jesus Christ. JiDion's testimony. He just posted this video, I believe. When he posted this video, like yesterday? Yeah, just yesterday he posted this video. So let's get straight into it. Let's see what's going on.
Y'all warm it up for you? Amen. Let's show some honor in this house. Stand to your feet for the man of God. Y'all give it up for Brother JiDion one time, man. If you need me, just whistle.
Yes, sir. How you guys doing today? I'm not going to entertain you guys like Pastor Vaughn. You know, I can't talk like that. But
Hold on one second. Let me see if I can increase the quality a little bit. Oh, that's the highest it can go. Okay.
I want to give a huge shout out to Pastor Vaughn and especially his son for, you know, reaching out to me. For you guys that don't know who I am, my name is JiDion, but my YouTube name is JiDion. I make content. I was making prank videos across all my social media platforms. I have over 20 million followers. You know, I made my living doing content. You know, I'm 22 years old. All praises to God. I just purchased.
Bro, you know what's crazy? JiDion is so young. I didn't know dude was only 22 years old. That's pretty wild. You know what I was thinking? If I would have been documenting when I first gave my life to Christ, I probably would have been canceled a long time ago. I would have been canceled a long time ago. It's so crazy. Dude, I mean, look, no offense, but the hairline made me think that he was older. No offense. I thought he was old. That's crazy. He's only 22 years old. You got to give this dude some time to figure it out. You got to give him some time to figure it out. I don't know where this testimony is going, but, you know, I did see there was quite a bit of backlash from the Christian side. Not everybody. I think there was a lot of Christians who were very open-armed in terms of JiDion giving his life to Christ. But there's always going to be those people who don't necessarily agree with, you know, things that take place, right? But yo, give him some grace. Let him figure things out. It's going to be a process. It's going to be a journey. Much like the Kat Von D video that I literally just got done recording, right? You got to give this dude some time to develop the convictions and develop an ear to hear what the Spirit is communicating to him specifically. You know what I mean?
My first home where I 100% own it. And, you know, I'm able to take care of my family, but my spirit was just always calling me to come back to Christ. And I grew up in a church home with my two parents. You know, I grew up in the church. But once, you know, I was able to get on my own feet and do my own thing, I chased after my own heart. And in Jeremiah, it tells you how the heart is naturally wicked in Jeremiah 17. And then in Proverbs, Solomon was telling us to not lean on our own understanding because, you know, in our minds, we can always make an excuse for something. In our minds, we can always make something that is bad not seem that bad. And that's what I would always do, you know? I would always psych myself out and tell myself, oh, I'll be okay doing this or I'll be okay doing that. And the more and more success I got, the more and more empty I felt where, you know, I could post a video and in a week it gets 10 million views and, you know, making what a person makes in an entire year off of one video, but my soul just felt empty. And that's a horrible feeling because when you don't have something, you at least know what you need to get. But when you have everything and you still don't have something inside of you, that's the...
Bro, that boy preaching. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let me get a sip of water. That was crazy. That was crazy. All right, keep going.
You know, it's a feeling I can't even describe. And in the end of Ecclesiastes, I always harken back to this, where, you know, Solomon, he was the wisest man in the land. He had the most successful kingdom. And when he went off and ventured into things that weren't aligned with God, the kingdom got split in half. Everything went down. And at the end of Ecclesiastes, he said, this is the matter of the whole thing, to love God and follow God and keep his commands. And when I started looking at myself and how I was back then, I realized what that whole was is that I didn't have God in me. I wasn't choosing God in my life. In Revelations 3, it shows how Jesus knocks at the door, but he's a gentleman. He doesn't just open.
Look, I don't know. We just call it what it is. This is incredible. This is amazing. This is a miracle. It really is. And because I talk about this from time to time, I talk about different people, and I talk about people who have a very large platform, and just the possibility of them giving their life to Christ, the impact that would have on their platform, on their following. Yes, you're probably going to lose some people, but you're going to gain so much more. And what you gain is literally potentially leading people to salvation. This is incredible. You look at what JiDion was doing even just a few months ago. You look at some of the content that he was posting, and then you look at this. You can't say anything bad about it. This is incredible. This is what we want. This is what we want. But for some people, it doesn't look the way that you want it to look like. But everyone's journey is going to be different. And JiDion might still do some things that, Christians, quote unquote, are not going to agree with. But that's his journey, and he's documenting his journey. What if you were to document your journey, just like I said, from the first day that you gave your life to Christ? And I know that this is not the first day, but hypothetically, if you documented your journey from the first day that you gave your life to Christ until where you are right now, that would not be a pretty picture. It would not be a pretty picture at all. But what you would see is the grace of God, and what you would see is how far God pulled you through to mold you into the mature Christian, hopefully, that you are today. So let him go through that same process. I mean, look, this is incredible.
He doesn't force you to worship him. He doesn't barge in. He knocks and he waits. But the more you ignore that knock, like any true gentleman, the knock is going to get quieter and quieter and quieter. But the thing about God, our loving God, is he's always going to still be out there for us. And, I just give all praises to the Most High that he waited for me. And I was coming back from Huntsville with my girlfriend, and we were driving in this Uber. And the whole Uber ride, the lady didn't talk to us. We just was driving, and it's an hour and 30-minute drive. When we get back to my house, out of nowhere, the Uber driver then wanted to just talk to us. So she asked us, she said, do you guys believe in Jesus? And of course, I was like, yeah, of course. And then she asked me another question. She said, if you were to die right now, would you go to heaven or would you go to hell? And I just had to be honest with myself, It's like, you can know Jesus, but do you have Jesus? Because in James, it tells us how even the demons know Jesus, and they tremble at his name. So if even the demons know Jesus, that just lets you know that knowing him isn't just enough. You have to have him. You have to partake in him. And I wasn't partaking in him. And I was just honest with myself, and I said, I would go to hell. And that conversation just lingered in my head like just a replay, just playing over and over and over again. And I just was really just looking at all the stuff I had, and I made a pros and cons list in my head. And I was like, if I give my life over to Christ, the cons would be I want to get as many views because I want to be able to do certain things. If I give my life over to Christ, I'm not gonna be able to hang around certain people that I was hanging around because that doesn't align with Christ. And the con list was just going all the way down where it was just, you make a decision on anything. If your con list outweighs your pro list by a lot, you're going to go with the cons. Like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But then I went over to the pro side, and it was easy. I would have everlasting life with the Father.
Wow.
Like,
that boy preaching. And he know it too. Hey, he's going off. I respect it.
and just that one thing, having it on the pro side, I just felt the conviction in my heart to just, you know what, I got to give this all up. And so I went on stream, and I wasn't going to even say anything about my journey. I was just going to go on there, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to be a hypocrite or nothing. And then, like, you know, this stream, I'm good. But then, you know, maybe 2 or 3 down the line, I'm acting up, and people are like, well, what about that first stream? So I was just on there chilling, and just out of nowhere, I just had a conviction in my heart, because when you really have Jesus in you, you just can't help but spread it. So I gave my testimony on stream, and right after I got done talking, I knew that I was born again. I knew that my old life was gone. I knew there's no going back. And I really feel as though I had the Holy Spirit in me, because, you know, to just kind of throw everything away in front of millions of people, because it was circulating all over the internet where, you know, people are saying, JiDion's giving his life over to Christ. And then, you know, I'm going on different forums, seeing what people are saying. And, you know, I'm seeing people saying, oh, he's crazy. Oh, he's going through a mental episode, da-da-da-da-da. And then I'm looking at it, and this is my own Reddit. This is r/JiDion Reddit. So these are supposed to be my biggest fans, supposedly. But everybody's in there saying, oh, he's crazy. Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, JiDion, I hope you get some help mentally. And, you know, that's a crazy thing to tell somebody that's trying to give their life over to Jesus, and you're telling them to go get a mental evaluation. And I was really thinking to myself, I was like, man, did I make the wrong decision? Like, is this wrong? But then in the scriptures, Christ said, the world loves its own. So the reason they loved me was because I was with them. Your friends are gonna love you. If your friends do drugs and you're doing drugs with them, they're gonna love you. But the moment you're like, man, I wanna put the pills down, I wanna put the weed down, I wanna put the needles down, you're not them anymore. The Bible says, can two not walk together on the same accord? You have to be on the same accord to walk with somebody. That's why everybody is in here today, because you all have your walk with Jesus. Jesus also said, you know, the world hated me first, so what are they gonna do about you? It also says that the servant isn't better than the master. We're all Jesus' servants. We're all slaves for Christ. So if they hated Christ, why wouldn't they hate us? And it really, those verses really touched my heart, to where it made me know I was making the right decision even more. So now, about a week into my testimony after doing this, you know, I'm moving different, I'm talking different, and then I'm seeing the earthly things I built start coming down, where views start going down. People that would usually hit me up all the time, calls are getting fewer and fewer. And it's a hard thing when you're withdrawing yourself from something. It's like, you know, it's like withdrawals. When you get off alcohol, you get off drugs, you get that itch to go back. But I just always remember God. I remember the pro side of my list, everlasting life. And we just have to realize, especially my youngins out there, man, you know, I know you guys are young and you guys have the rest of your life ahead of you. But then also, on the other hand of that, you don't know when God's gonna call you home. You know, nobody is guaranteed tomorrow. And I feel that that's the one thing in life that we always feel like we're guaranteed is tomorrow. Because that's the thing we always get. Every time we wake up, we get a new tomorrow. You know, sometimes one thing might not happen for us, but we always get another tomorrow. And so we always assume, oh yeah, I'm always gonna be here. I'm always gonna be here. But that's not the case. And so you have to live your life like it's your last. But living your life like it's your last isn't doing what your earthly flesh wants. Getting everything off your checklist. Oh, let me get this done, this done, this done, then I'm gonna serve Christ. No, living your life like it's your last is, you know that you're gonna be going home to Christ tomorrow, but you're living your life according to what he's established out for us, according to the gospel. And so for all my youngins out there, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, when you follow Christ, it's not gonna be the popular thing. It's really not. You're not gonna get any brownie points from anybody. You know, you're not gonna have the cool kids hit you up, none of that. But the Bible says that we're a peculiar people. The saints are peculiar people. Peculiar means strange, different, set apart. A person should be able to see that's a Christian right there without even having to know who you are or to know anything about you or what your name is. They could just see a light shine from you. And so, and you also got to think about it. That light shining off of you is going to shine on something else. So something that's in the dark is going to get light up. So you might not know it. By following Jesus, you're helping somebody else and you don't even know. You know, either some of us are planters of seeds. Pastor Vaughn, he's a waterer of the seeds, but God gives the increase. So you never know what your life is going to entail. So you have to live it according to Jesus. My main thing is, I have this platform and I was able to post any and every video I ever wanted promoting anything. But now that I'm promoting Jesus, it's a problem with people. And so, but now for the first time ever in my YouTube career, I really feel like the content that I'm posting now isn't for people, it's for God. It's for God. I appreciate you guys for having me. Huge shout out for Pastor Vaughn.
He says something super interesting at the end. He said, I have this huge platform and I could literally post anything and everything and people will rock with it. But the moment I start talking about Jesus, then y'all want to jump ship as if I'm the crazy one, right? I'll just say this to JiDion. God has equipped you with a unique ability to capture people's attention. Whatever you want to call it, you have a unique ability to capture people's attention. Don't throw that away. I know you were talking about you feel like you can't make the same type of content just because it's not going to hit the same. But don't throw that talent away that God has put inside of you. Shift that focus and just like you said, do it for Christ. I think you could still pull the same numbers that you were pulling. I think you could. The content's going to look different, but the message is going to be so much more fulfilling for your spirit. And I think the numbers are going to come. I think God's going to bless it. That's just my opinion, you know? Hey, this was an incredible testimony. Shout out to JiDion. Keep praying for JiDion. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Get in my comments, like this video. If you happen to like this video, I'm out, y'all.